Hi, my name is Daryl Phillips, and let's talk about expectations. But before we do, like, subscribe, share, follow. Share is the most important thing. Sharing, you can't get the message out otherwise. And people want to hear this. Well, some people want to hear this. And some people that want to help may need to hear this so that they can help better. Maybe they have someone that they don't quite understand, or they don't, there's a lot of people that have people that they know they have mental disorders, and they don't quite know how to help them. They feel bad for them, especially when they're depressed and so on, or they're scared of them, and they need to understand why. They snap so easily, that kind of thing. Expectations. Expectations can be difficult to wrap your mind around. What I mean is, you have your expectations, and other people have their expectations, and then there's reality. In other words, the actual, what you should be expecting. And they're all different. They can all vary. Some people's expectations are pretty negative about you. Some people's expectations about you are pretty positive about you. Maybe your expectation is pretty positive about yourself, and maybe your expectation is pretty negative about yourself. Then there's reality, which is the truth, which is what I tried to teach you. You should try to train yourself for all of them. What if a little piece of everything is right? And that's what the truth is. What if you are overbearing a little bit? What if the way you talk to people is not exactly right? Then maybe you shouldn't have an expectation where everything you do is right, because we all make mistakes, and everything you do is not right. Not everything you do. Some things need to be tweaked and fixed. You can be the best speaker in the world on here. I put these videos up on YouTube. I could be the best speaker in the world. Doesn't mean I'm going to get views. I have to get their attention first. There's all sorts of caveats to doing this where I'm not quite used to it, even now. Making thumbnails and so forth and so on, and doing the silly faces you have to do, but you have to get people's attention before they can listen to the message. They're not going to come to your video unless they have something that they were drawn to, right? So that means you have to do the whole thing, not just the part that you're good at. You have to try to do the negative too, what you consider the negative. It's good for you anyway. You set expectations and goals, and then what you expect to happen. And if it doesn't happen, you need to figure out why it doesn't happen. What didn't happen? Maybe your goals were a little bit too high. Doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means maybe your goals were a little bit too out there. Maybe you need some steps in between to get to a certain spot. Or maybe you have a dream like I did, where I wanted to be in Lomo Alto. Those are too high expectations. I'm not living in Lomo Alto again. It's not an offense to me. It's the way it is. I've not been there. I'm just saying, sometimes your goals are a bit high or unrealistic. Set realistic goals, and you will not be disappointed in what you may get. It may not be exactly what you want, but then figure out why it's not. Maybe some little tweaks here, some little tweaks there. And in the end, you'll meet the expectations that you're supposed to. They're called expectations for a reason, because you're expecting this to happen. The worst kind of expectations, in my opinion, are the kind that you expect of other people, or people expect of you. People may expect too much of you, or they don't expect anything from you. Prove them wrong, or show them why their expectations have been high on you. Same thing with yourself. When you look at another human being, you're dealing with human beings, not things. You can control other things better. You can control other things better than you can control other human beings, because you cannot control what you cannot control. And human beings, you can't control. You can try to. In most worlds, that's called a dictatorship, and most people don't want to be around that. They want to feel like they're being in control. So have reasonable expectations of people. Expectations aren't hard to understand in that way, but actually doing it right, everybody makes mistakes on this. They either have too high or too low expectations. You have to have realistic expectations, the truth in the middle. Remember, level thoughts and balanced life. And you'll meet the expectations that are realistic, and not the ones that are grandiose. You say, well, what if it's a long-term goal? Sure. But just know you're not going to get that at that moment. If you're not where you want to be at that moment, It just means you have a few more steps to go. Always reevaluate and assess the situation like I've discussed. In the moment. Analytics don't work for human beings. I don't care what they tell you, because we're bound to act differently. It might not be exactly what you think. And so with that being said, expect good things from yourself by planning it out. You will end up having reasonable expectations, and you'll reach all those goals. And then you go out farther and farther and farther. That's the point. This is steps. This is your life. It isn't everything now. Too many young people want everything now, and they expect something to happen, and it doesn't happen the way they want it to, and they get mad and throw a fit. Basically, set reasonable goals, have reasonable expectations, and all will be well. Carry the ingredients, and all will be well. You can't possibly have too high expectations when you're doing this, when you're doing the steps, and when you're carrying the ingredients every day. You cannot possibly. It's not possible. You should be venting. You should be venting these ideas out so that someone can make it, tweak it before you make the mistake, before you get disappointed. Does this make sense? I hope you guys have a good night. Get home safely to where you need to be going, or if you are traveling out, or if you have a job that's somewhere else outside of your home, be safe. Don't drink and drive, please. Take an Uber or Lyft. Thank you. Preferably you don't drink, but I digress. May the Lord light guide you.